What separates the elite from the rest of the field? A demarcation of those in the hunt on the final day and those taping their bodies together to start their warm-up. In this 4-part series, I'm going to lay out the 4 most important traits of a CrossFit champion. Today, we are discussing durability. This first attribute is a game-changing trait in the world of endurance. In this video, you'll find out what durability means, how it's been showcased at the CrossFit Games, and what you can do to improve your durability in your own training. When I was first trying to learn more about endurance from colleagues, mentors, and other coaches, they were giving me research papers to read. And I found out that endurance had 3 big pillars on which they leaned on that a great runner had to improve. And then when durability was introduced, there was an article called The 4th Dimension of Running. And that got me thinking, what are the 4 dimensions of CrossFit? So I started writing things down, started looking over my notes, started looking over all the education, and I came up what I thought was the 4 best attributes a CrossFit athlete could have. Some may disagree, but I think these things, they seem intangible, but they're not. They're trainable, and the best athletes have them. Turbo wants you to subscribe to our channel. He's an integral part in helping me coach my athletes. So please subscribe, not just for me, but for Bobo. When I started CrossFit in 2011, there seemed to be endless videos on YouTube on how to get better at CrossFit, and I watched it all. I started looking into the journal, I started looking for videos, and I tried to sharpen my skills as a coach and to get better as an athlete as much as I could. CrossFit has evolved a lot since then, and so should the training. I want to give out information that I wish I knew 10 years ago. But a lot of the content out there is really just good marketing, sensationalism, and cool things just for clicks. But I don't want to be a part of that, and I want to help others upgrade their training, upgrade their coaching to help others doing CrossFit, performing CrossFit, and competing in CrossFit. And on the sports side, if we want to grow and if we want to be better coaches and we want to be better athletes, then we need to upgrade our training, try and learn, and share things with others. So that's the main reason why I'm doing this. I want to help others, I want to push out good content, and I want to be proud of the things that I'm creating. So without further ado, let's get started to talk about durability. Everyone is great when they're not tired, but the champs, they're great when they are. I love that quote, and I think it really rings true for CrossFit because CrossFit is an endurance sport. There is a requisite level of strength required to compete in CrossFit, and as you get better, you have to get stronger, but that doesn't make it a strength sport. In CrossFit, you're going to be tested in many different modalities over many events and many days. Therefore, you have to be enduring in many ways. The champs and the elite, they always finish strong on Sunday. Everyone looks like they're in contention on day 1. Then another day passes, a few more events, then the field starts to dwindle. How can these elite athletes be so much better? The games are supposed to showcase the tip of the spear, the very best in the sport. And yet when we get there, there's a tier level among the games athletes themselves. What makes them seem bulletproof on the final day, like they got this 2nd, 3rd, 4th wind compared to everyone else? Well, it's simple. They are more durable. Everyone's noticed it, but we've always just chalked it up to they're just that much better, or they've just been doing it longer, or it's something genetic. But it's not always the case. Rich was famous for closing on Sundays, he would win final events, and then he could just give just enough. He would pace just enough to beat out his opponents. Tia and Matt seemingly never gave up during their reign. They would have clinched titles, they would be winning by over 100 points, and yet they would still be doubling down and hammering on the final events and taking event wins. Ben Smith won his CrossFit Games title in the final event against Matt Fraser. Although Matt seemed to be fitter, and he had 7 top 3 finishes that year compared to Ben's 4 top 3 finishes, it was Ben who prevailed by being more durable. The final event was just a small glimpse of the bigger picture. Endurance was the key. One of the biggest factors affecting endurance and durability is volume. Ben had way more time spent in the sport. That means more time in the gym, more time competing, more time doing these movements, and that gave him the edge, that gave him the advantage to win. In my opinion, maybe the best example of durability in the sport at the games was Matt and Tia at Atlanta. This was one of the most brutal events, hardest events in CrossFit Games history, and they performed a victory lap together. They did the workout in tandem, they seemed to be coasting, and they still put up amazing scores. There's endless examples of the expression of durability and endurance within the sport, especially at the games. Comment what you think the best one was. All this talk about durability, and I haven't even told you what it is. Hopefully you've gotten a pretty good idea and I've painted an okay picture so you have a sense of what I mean by durability. Let's get a little more into detail. Durability is fatigue resistance. This is the ability to produce power and resist fatigue after an extended period of work. It's a well-known term in the endurance community, and I am lucky enough to have learned about it from some great coaches and educators, Sam Smith and Michael Fitzgerald. A study done in the cycling world revealed that the ability to produce more power in later stages of an event was a more reliable differentiator between the elite and the up-and-comers. So let's put that into a little bit of context. How would we test durability? And hopefully this paints a better picture, and for me, that's what this did. We're gonna start on a bike erg. You're gonna do 5 minutes max calories. Then you're gonna ride for 60 minutes at an easy, sustained pace, the same pace the whole way through. And then following that immediately, you're going to do a 5-minute bike of max cals again. So 5 minutes, 60 minutes, and then 5 minutes, 70 minutes straight. The drop off you had in the second 5-minute segment is how much fatigue affected you. And when we compared those two scores, that is your test of durability. So the closer those two numbers are together, the more durable you are. And if you got 150 cals on the first one and then only 80 cals on the second one, that would be a bigger gap, and hence you would be less durable. Another example that could be a little more related to CrossFit would be a max unbroken muscle up straight into 30 minutes of rowing at an easy, sustained pace. Sustained is important. And then you hop off the rower and immediately do another max unbroken ring muscle up. So again, you compare the two scores. The closer they are together, the better your durability is. In my mind, I like to break down durability in two ways. You got your total system and you got the movements. Your system, I like to think of it as how well you can perform in multiple events or over multiple days. How I think of movement-specific durability is how well you perform a specific movement under fatigue. So you could be a really good squatter, but as soon as fatigue sets in or you start adding in other movements, you cannot hold up your squat, or you start to dwindle, you start to fade. Maybe you have a great ring muscle up score, unbroken ring muscle up, 20 reps, but as soon as you start skiing or rowing or implementing something with a high heart rate, you can't perform the muscle ups as well as everyone else, but you had a higher score than them. That doesn't make sense, but it does, because you are less durable than them. Luckily, durability is a trainable trait or a trainable characteristic, and you can work on it and get better at it in your own training. Quick shout out to Spade. If you love good soda but don't like all the junk in it, then you should try Spade. The great healthy soda, tastes amazing, and your boy Jake Berman in the CrossFit community, one of the OGs and still doing it today, started the company. It would be great to support. How can I get better? The easiest way to get better at durability is just training volume. The more volume you have, the more you accumulate, the more you can perform in 1 week, the more durable you will be. The more time you can spend in the moderate intensity domain or below lactate threshold, the more durable you will become. The next one is front-loaded fatigue. And this one I like a lot, especially for CrossFit, because it fits really well and you can work on a lot of things at once. I'll go over 2 examples here. Number 1, you're gonna do 30 minutes of easy work followed by some bout of tough work. So this example, you're doing 30 minutes of a 1,000-meter row and a 1,000-meter ski, and this is at sub-lactate threshold. You could think zone 1 or zone 2, but really it's just below your lactate threshold. So think super easy work. As soon as the 30 minutes is up, you're gonna go straight into 5 sets of 500-meter row, 500-meter ski, and then resting 2 to 4 minutes. These are performed at a high effort, almost as hard as you can go while maintaining power the entire time. You should probably leave a little bit in the tank, maybe allowing yourself to do 2 to 4 more sets, but the difference is you're going below lactate threshold into hard, unsustainable work. The second example, same format, 30 minutes, easy work, sub-lactate threshold. You're gonna do 20 cal row, 30-second farmer's carry, 30-second handstand hold, and then 10 kettlebell swings at a light load. Followed by you going straight into 5 sets of 5 unbroken ring muscle ups, resting 2 to 3 minutes. You're accumulating fatigue in the upper body, accumulating fatigue in the same areas, same muscles, same body parts that you will be utilizing for the muscle up, and then you're gonna go do the muscle ups. Why this format is so good? Well, you're getting 30 minutes of easy volume. So you're accumulating more volume, raising your total weekly volume, and then you're also able to work on a skill or work on something very specific that you want to improve your durability in. The next one is work to work intervals. A traditional interval you would think is work to rest. Run 200 meters and then rest a minute. But these are a little more difficult and they get a little sneaky. You're gonna do an easy bout of work under lactate threshold again, very sustainable pace, into a hard, unsustainable pace. And you're gonna alternate between them. For example, you're gonna do a 30-minute run, 4 minutes, easy effort, sub-lactate threshold, moderate intensity domain, super easy, sustainable. Then you're gonna do 1 minute of hard effort. This is gonna be the severe intensity domain. Think 2 to 5K pace. So you're doing a pace you could hold for over an hour, and then you're gonna do something you're gonna hold for 2 to 5K. There's a big difference there, but you're still running for the entire 30 minutes. This is very effective on the machines or in a monostructural setting. If you have something very specific that you wanna get durable in, then just doing that movement can also increase the durability. So the said principle does ring true. It just may not be the most optimum way to increase durability in said movement. There are probably endless ways to approach getting more durable in CrossFit. There's a lot of movements to work on, a lot of skills to practice, to sharpen, and the sport's growing. We're in an infancy in the sport. So we need to get creative, find out what works best, and share it with others. These are a few of the ways that I like to do it. I'm sure there's more, and I'm sure you might have some good ideas too. But the best way to grow moving forward is to share these things and show these concepts and to work on them, find out what's gonna work and find out what's not. I understand as coaches and athletes, there's a lot of competition going on, and a lot of people think that they have to hide their secrets or they just want to pretend they have secrets. But the best way moving forward for us all to get better, even though there's legacy and financial gain to be had, is to share these concepts and try and elevate everyone and upgrade everybody's coaching. So why do I think this is a top 4 characteristic? Well, the best CrossFitters are the best at managing fatigue. If you become more durable, you become more resistant to fatigue, and you can manage it better, leaving you more prepared, better off than your counterparts in a competition. More reps, more events, more days, more meters, all these things are going to accumulate in a competition, and they're going to affect you less. This should be a big priority for CrossFitters in the space, especially if you feel like you wither or you get weaker or you get less energy as the days go by and by in a competition. I hope this video gave you a glimpse of what it's like to improve your durability, and I hope you've learned a little bit and can take away and add to your own training. Please comment any questions you may have, ask any questions about durability, training, or anything, and I'll get back to you. I coach individuals one-on-one, and I also have an online training program to help those prepare for CrossFit competitions. If that's something you're interested in, you can message me directly or check the description of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you took something away. Again, my goal is to upgrade people's training, help other coaches out there. So stay tuned for the next video where we dive into